Hey everyone, Becky Liney here, official president as of now of our group, and I wanted to hop on and explain kind of what happened at our meeting last night. We had our first official planning meeting, and so I wanted to give everybody an update and let you all know what our plans are with the group. And so we officially have a president and vice president, a secretary and treasurer, and those names of everybody will be on the website, but I am the president. We've got Drew as our vice president, Candace as our secretary, and Aaron as our treasurer. We're really excited and thankful for everyone to be hopping on and helping. But one of the things really we did with the meeting last night was just kind of a collaborative action, just to talk back and forth about what our thoughts are about the closure of the school and the effects on not only Pleasantview, but areas around Pleasantview, because we realized if Pleasantview closes, this is something that's going to be impacting a lot more than just Pleasantview families in the area around the school. This is going to be impacting the students and families over at El Paso, the students and families at Park Hill, and the students and families at Derby Hills, not to mention the impact of Cooper Elementary closing, which is something that hasn't been talked about a lot either. But Cooper Elementary is up for closure, and it'll be combined with Oaklawn and a new school built in that area. So how do those families feel about this? How do the families of Park Hill and Derby Hills and El Paso feel about if Pleasantview closes? These buildings are going to be increased, and there's going to be up to 500 or more students at these schools. How do the families at Swaney Elementary feel with an increase in over 200 students over the last couple of years? How has that affected their students, their needs, their children's needs? Are their needs still being met in the same way? How has it changed the school culture and different things like that? So definitely this is something that people that have kids going to Park Hill and Derby Hills and El Paso, they've got to have some opinions about this. And we were talking back and forth, and the students that attend Pleasantview, everybody gets Skyward notifications, and we received notice back in November that Pleasantview was up for discussion for being closed. But it's my understanding that other people at different schools, aside from Pleasantview, have no idea that this is going on. And so we realized that there really is a major lack of communication from the school district about what's going on, the potential for closures, different things like that. This is huge, guys, and nobody is talking about it. The school district hasn't really put out any documentation about this. And so there's definitely an accountability piece that we're realizing. And not only that, we've talked about how this is going to impact Pleasantview families, but this is something that's affecting the entire city of Derby. This is not just something for Pleasantview families, guys. And so we started thinking, we talked about calling our group Project Pleasantview, which definitely is something that we are here to support Pleasantview Elementary, but we realized that we are more than just Pleasantview. We are part of the larger community of Derby as a whole. And so this is something that is affecting Derby, not just Pleasantview. It's affecting all of these Derby schools. We're talking about the impact of 4 schools if Pleasantview closes. It'll affect Pleasantview, but then the 3 other elementary schools that will go into. And then it's also going to be affecting Cooper and Oaklawn. So we're talking a combination of 6 schools out of Derby's 9 would be affected by this change. And it's my understanding that parents and families have not been informed of this at the other elementary schools. And so we need to work together as a community to share this information, because it's not just something that's affecting Pleasantview. This is something that's affecting the entire, basically all of the elementary schools. 6 out of 9, that's a huge number, guys. And so our thought was, instead of calling our group Project Pleasantview, we're going to be known as Save Derby Schools, because we want to save Derby schools. We want to make sure that we're maintaining what's going on right now at El Paso that's working. We don't want to go and add another 150 students to that and adjust the school culture and different things like that unless it's absolutely needed. This is something that, it's not just Pleasantview, guys. It's 6 out of 9 elementary schools that currently exist in Derby. So our goal is to get answers to some questions that we've got. What are the reasons that Pleasantview is being considered for closure? Why is Cooper, with a brand new storm shelter, being considered for closure? That's one of the big things of the Project for Success proposal, is to get storm shelters in all of the buildings. Cooper has a great storm shelter. You can live in Cooper for 3 days because the water will be recycled and things like that. That was straight from Mr. Wilford at a site council meeting that we had at Pleasantview, talking about, the needs of the district and things going forward. So we need answers. And it's not just Pleasantview families that need answers. People at Derby Hills, Park Hill, El Paso, all of these families need answers. This is big, guys. So we are looking not just at Pleasantview, but we're looking at all of Derby schools. We want to save our Derby schools. And so we are renaming the group from Project Pleasantview to Save Derby Schools because we recognize that this is a much larger issue. And when it comes down to it, we are a community, guys. We have our individual elementary schools and individual areas of town that we live in, but collectively we are a community and we all love Derby. And so it's our job, it's up to us to come together and figure out a way of making sure that the school board knows that as a community we have concerns that we would like to be heard. And so we are now Save Derby Schools. So you'll see the group will be renamed, and we're going to be kind of re-strategizing our focus a little bit. And we're definitely still obviously keeping Pleasantview's closure at heart because I very much love Pleasantview. I've shared with all of you, I'm tied to it very closely. But there's definitely a reason to be making this more of a community effort because, you know, parents and families at these other elementary schools deserve to know what's going on. So attached to this, I'm going to put a link to a blog post that has a little more information about this. I'm so excited. You know, thank you all for watching this video and thank you for your support thus far. We do have some very important dates upcoming. I'm going to have an additional video probably tomorrow to explain a little more that's upcoming. One really important date to keep in mind is January 9th at 6:30. We have a school board meeting that is taking place at Pleasantview Elementary, and we want to have as many parents and families there as possible. This is a kids accepted event, guys. Technically it's a school board meeting and it's an official thing, but it's a public meeting for anybody to attend. And when it comes down to it, this is about kids, right? It's about the students, so why not bring the students to the meeting? So I'll be there with my family. I'm bringing my kids. Hope to see you all there. So be on the lookout over the next couple of days for additional information, but you know, be aware we are changing the name of the group from Save Pleasantview Elementary to Save Derby Schools. And you know, the focus right now is going to be on Pleasantview and Cooper. If the support is behind that, definitely we'll do whatever we can to help the parents and families of Cooper and Oaklawn that would be affected by this as well. But get the word out, guys. If you know PAT or PTA members, talk to staff at the other schools, talk to families, let the word out. Say, hey, did you guys know that your school may be increasing by up to 150 students? What do you think about that? Let's start this dialogue. Let's start this communication. Check out our website, savederbyschools.com. You can also go to projectpleasantview.com and it'll redirect you to the same place. If you've got any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or send me an email at savederbyschools.com. And we'll talk to you all soon. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.